Dude, you should review movies.
Oh my god,
I'm
yes.
telling you.
Okay, I've had a couple, so time for movie review.
Welcome to another edition of Six Pack Cinema. This week we are talking George Clooney directing. We're talking bad movies once again, and we are talking Suburbicon, starring Julianne Moore and Matt Damon. How you guys doing? Joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Sheehan and Jimmy. How are you guys doing? Messed that up for a sec.
I think you're doing pretty good. I'm going to contest you right off the bat. It was not a bad movie.
It wasn't a good movie.
It wasn't a bad one.
I'm going to contest that as well. I think you are a parrot of the critics, Dave. I mean, I think you read the reviews before you went in and made up your mind, because I was shocked the reviews this movie's getting. It's like these. Mm-hmm. I think maybe expectations was a huge thing for the people reviewing this. 23% is what the last I saw was at. Preposterous.
Oh, I didn't see it that low. I saw it last time I looked at Rotten Tomatoes. It was at like 30-something%.
That's still way too low for me.
Extremely low.
What? I agree. I think they're being overly harsh, but I thought they were also kind of overly harsh on Snowman. So I wouldn't trust my opinion on that.
Yeah, we live in extremist kind of ways now. It's either it sucks or it's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, my gut reaction or whatever for this movie is I walked out of the theater. One, I was like, and I saw a lot of complaints about like the trailer was not what this movie was at all. And I walked out, I went and saw it with my sister, brother-in-law, my girlfriend. I said to the three of them, I was like, I'm so happy that the trailer made me want to see it, but didn't give anything away, didn't give like the big actual twist or theme away that Matt Damon was the bad guy. Like everyone saw the trailer and wanted to go see Matt Damon be the good guy and kill the bad guys. And you get there and you're like, oh shit, he's the bad guy. I thought that was awesome. I was like, I wanted to see this movie, and you didn't give away the whole plot and theme in the trailer and still made me want to see it. So I thought the trailer was awesome. And then in turn, the movie, I mean, I can see the flaws. Like, I don't think it's like critically amazing. It shouldn't be up for any awards besides the little kid should get nominated for his acting. That little kid was fucking
I think so.
Awesome. But
I fucking hate that kid.
He was an amazing actor, but this was a great movie.
Well, no, he's a good actor. I just hate kids.
Well, I won't say it's a great movie. I will say I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. Like
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think I disagree on the trailers selling. Like, they didn't sell the movie that it was. I think it's great that they hid that Matt Damon's actually the villain, but the trailers sold it more as a dark comedy in the same vein as like In Bruges or Seven Psychopaths, and that's not at all what this was. There was definitely comedic elements to the trailers, and I think I maybe laughed once in the entire theater.
Oh, I laughed a couple times.
It took a while to get there. The trailer sold it as something like Death to Smoochie or Hail Caesar, where there was consistently like kind of like over the top comedy.
Yep.
This one, it took a while for me to get into it. Actually, I was sitting there thinking like, Jesus, this sucks. Like up until probably all the way up until the insurance guy came knocking. I was kind of out of that.
When Oscar Isaac showed up, I was like, he's saving this movie, and I loved every second of the movie that he was in.
I think he was the best part, one of the best parts of it, but he didn't save it. But it definitely took a heel turn. Like it went from being all right, well, this is just a typical insurance fraud situation, whatever, to everything's falling apart massively quickly, and it's just a complete clusterfuck.
Yeah,
and I love that. I was expecting a disaster kind of movie, like an internal disaster movie.
He was the best part.
At the end, the last half. The last half was.
And well, Oscar Isaac's scene was awesome. He was like really fun. That was probably the most comedic scene, right? Just the way he was like tricking them and being like a weasel was funny.
Yeah, weasel's the way to call it.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. My sister, she falls asleep in every single movie I've ever seen her watch. Like, she never stays awake. She walked away kind of like, what the fuck was that? That was really like violent, and they're all bad people. But she stayed up the whole time, and we were like whispering, like, no, that, no, that. So we were into it. So
it's a win.
Nice. All right, Shane, what did you? I feel like we kind of cut you off. What was your snap impression, Shane?
Oh, thank you for coming back to me on that. I had a little statement prepared, and
nice.
I scribbled at the end and said they had a good moral of the story. And you know what the moral of the story was?
Be good.
I don't know. Everyone deserves to die.
No, it says no matter what's going on in your life, you can always count on baseball.
Does this count
Right?
as a sports movie?
Yeah.
No, it's
Embrace
a
the
good
base.
old Americana.
I did love that. My girlfriend and sister were like, oh, blah blah blah, just having a catch at the end, and I was like, yeah, well, that's like therapeutic as fuck. Go have a catch.
It really is.
Well,
That
I mean,
was
you might want to call the
perfect way to
cops and
end.
be like, my entire family's dead.
Nah.
No. You won't. Nah, fuck that.
Just,
That's paperwork you don't want to deal.
You just want to go have a catch, not talk about it at all.
Can we talk about... All right, so let's just jump right into our deep dive. Can we talk about the clusterfuck that was the two movies that this movie was trying to balance? The racism
yes.
one and
I
the
wanna
actual
start.
Suburbicon?
I want to start with one point.
Since you're
I was-
raising your
at one-
hand, I'm calling on you.
At one point, were you like, "This is scarily, eerily similar to Mother"? The random like, riot outside this guy's house.
No, I didn't. That didn't come into my.
I was like, "Oh my god, this is going Mother out."
I will say the speaking of like the black family and integrating and all that shit. The opening scene when the mailman's like jauntily like hopping along, he's like, you see your neighbors, blah blah blah. I didn't like that. Like I think like they were going for laughs. It felt like that was a time where this movie was actually felt like it was going for laughs, and I was like, this is awkward as fuck. Once like they're all, it's like with happy music, and they're all peeking around the corner like, look at them. It's like I don't.
Look
this
at that black
tone
person.
is. I know like they're trying to be satirical, but still felt like kind of.
It was a miss.
It was a
For
yes,
sure.
yeah. That's the best way to put it. It's a huge miss. Like, and there's some black people in my theater, and they were like talking out loud, like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "Yeah, this is not like. Let's move past this opening sequence. I don't like it at all."
Yeah. Wait, do you guys know
it
the
only
whole
got worse from
story?
there.
Did you guys look into it? The whole story of why that whole subplot is in this movie?
Yeah, but
No.
yeah, it's two different movies. So like, it was Clooney had one movie about this family in Pennsylvania that did this black family that moved into a neighborhood and it was riots and shit. And then the Coen brothers had this other hitman Fargo-esque, and he mixed them. I didn't hate it. I like they mirrored each other. They like it got progressively worse, and it was clearly juxtaposition. Like, here's this family that is literally doing nothing wrong at all, and people are rioting and screaming at them. And then right next door, you have a white family that's killing each other, murders happening every second, and no one cares or notices at all. So I thought the juxtaposition, like everyone's acting like it was the most random, disjointed thing.
No,
in the world.
I like the idea or not in practice. In theory, I like the idea. I just think there was better ways to do it. Maybe have the plots kind of intertwined at least a little bit, other than the kids playing catch in the beginning at the very end.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I thought they were going to intertwine in like this grand writing, like finagle thing at the end where they come together. They didn't. I still think it served a point. I'm not like, as I was reading some reviews, not everyone was like crushing it. I was like, I don't know. It wasn't that anti. And it's still like.
No. I think because I think he was trying to force it is why I don't think it ended up working well. Because I think that family movie or this mobster suburban movie would have each one been an amazing movie on its own. And because it's like Battle of the Sexes, because he was trying to balance both, I feel like it took away from them both.
I agree. I think the racial movie on its own is probably not a great movie. And I think this Hitman movie on its own is probably not a great movie. Because we've seen it. I think they should have intertwined it a lot more. They should have figured out, like, I don't know how you do it. Maybe we could have a little writer's room session and rewrite this. But I think if they found a way to intertwine it, that's the only way this is like a great movie. I think
You need to get more dialogue out of the black family.
Well, the
make it
dad didn't
worthwhile.
even talk, right?
Yeah, I don't think
Exactly,
he had
so-
a single line of
Yeah,
dialogue.
as the audience, you had nothing invested in this family, which was kind of, I think, a huge flaw in their little dynamic. You had nothing invested except for this kid who was cute and he was, giving him snakes and shit. Like,
Well, the one kid, the scene with the black kid when they were in like the cellar stairway, and he was like, "You can't show him nothing." My dad says you can't show. That was pretty good. Like I was
was.
like my sister and my girlfriend were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Man, that fucking racism sucks." No, but that was like
Breaking racism sucks.
Yeah, no, but that was good. I thought like
on
that
the record,
pulled on
Six
my
Pack Cinema
heartstrings
against
a little
racism.
I thought that scene was good. The other scene that worked really well, that pulled on my heartstrings a little, was Uncle Mitch when he walked him to the closet, gave him the gun, and I didn't know that, I didn't think, and then when they reveal it that he had been stabbed, I was like, in the back, and he knew he was going to die, so he was protecting his nephew. That hit me pretty good. I was like, oh man, Uncle Mitch, that was a good scene. I thought so. There's some things I thought they did really well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Did you guys know that there was there's a whole Josh Brolin subplot that they cut as well?
I read that, but I didn't read what it was.
They cut off Josh Brolin?
Yeah, he was going to be the captain of the police.
Well, see, that right there would make it a much better movie.
Yeah, apparently there's a whole subplot with him that Clooney was like, it doesn't really fit the story I want to tell.
Did they think it was too complicated to put that in?
I
Because
guess.
it wasn't. We needed more plot, I think.
Absolutely. Hang on.
I want to share one thing. So my sister sent me a headline from the Boston Globe last week, and when they reviewed Suburbicon, it said George Clooney takes what sounds great on paper and reduces it to an unpleasant traffic jam.
I think that's a pretty solid description.
I disagree entirely. It was not a traffic jam. I felt it was too loose. I think it was just the opposite. I think it was just the Boston Globe has been notorious for throwing out shitty headlines to grab people.
Yeah,
so.
I think this movie was better than it was bad. Like, I liked it more than I went to see it a second time because I have Movie Pass now, which is the best thing in the world. Shout out Movie Pass.
Shout out Movie Pass. Sponsor the pod.
Shout out Movie Pass.
I didn't want to see another movie because I didn't want to clog my head with like too many thoughts and push this movie back. So I was like, all right, I'll just see this again. But then it's 90 degrees in October here. It's so hot. I sat in the movie theater. I was hot and tired. I saw like the first scene. And then I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm refreshed. And I left. But I didn't see it, so I didn't fully see it second time. But I liked it. So what happened was and then I was just going to read it again to refresh my memory, like read the plot and shit. And then I saw the bad reviews and everyone complaining. And that's when I was like, what the hell? This wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the critics had a little ahead of themselves on this one. Do we subscribe to the theory that Rotten Tomato critics are paid off?
Yeah.
I don't.
I do. I absolutely
Why?
think they are.
But pay me. I'll write some. Whoever's
DC
paying them off, you can buy my reviews.
I was hesitant to believe that until I started watching DC and Marvel movies, and Marvel gets sucked off every time they release anything, but DC gets crucified every time.
To be fair, DC has yet to release a good one. I haven't watched Wonder Woman, so
Wonder
that
Woman's
one's
fantastic.
But that was sucked
Wonder
off
Woman.
by all the reviews too.
And Suicide Squad was not terrible.
I wanted to blow my brains out, and if you try to defend this, our friendship is over.
It's an internet friendship. It's not really anyways your parent.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad might be it's definitely on my Mount Rushmore of worst movies of all time.
Oh, how dare you.
But I think you're right about Marvel. They get a lot of slack, but I also think reviewers at this point especially, they know what to expect out of a Marvel movie. And as long as it hits the right beats and isn't horrible, they're going to get a solid review out of it. Because they go into it not expecting it to be like a masterclass of cinema.
Well, to the point of being Rotten Tomatoes being shitty, how about that guy who gave the shitty review on Get Out? And his review was very clear that he didn't even watch half of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
thoughts?
Well, here's
thoughts on that
here's
one?
something. If you get paid to write by 80% of the newspapers or websites out there, you get paid to have a bias. Like, if you don't think that, you're just very, very naive. Go read like any beat reporter or anything. It's either you get paid to have a bias or have like a crazy opinion. Someone with the opinion that, hey, this movie was pretty entertaining. I mean, it wasn't like the best movie. It shouldn't be any awards, but I enjoyed it. That's not going to get you any clicks or headlines. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, if you're listening to this podcast, that's what I'm giving you because that's the truth.
Yeah. Don't worry. When I tweet it out, I'll be like, we give the most outrageous takes on this movie.
Yeah, if anyone's out there listening, just let me know and we're for sale.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't know about you guys, but my opinion is always for sale. You can buy off what I'm going to say. Let's go into what we liked about the movie.
Before you realize before you realize that they're in on it. I had no idea because the trailer didn't give it away that they were in on. He hired like it was a Fargo situation. Did you guys know that beforehand?
I thought it was very, very clear.
Wait, when?
Oh, I didn't.
When he said what was agreed upon when they were sitting around the kitchen table.
Yeah, I knew something was up. I didn't know it was like they were gonna kill her. I thought they were still
There and the aunt and the father were making eyes at each other. It was. I felt very strongly about. It was
maybe I'm stupid. I didn't realize it until Oscar Isaac called it out.
Oh, that's
really
super late in the game. That yeah, maybe you are stupid, but no, I didn't.
Maybe you're a stupid person.
I didn't realize it as early, like during the scene before she died, because I saw all those eyes and saw that, and I thought it was like the mom and the aunt knew that he was into the mob for money, like doing some shady shit.
That's what I thought it was.
And they knew why this was happening. Like, it wasn't random, but they didn't pay. So I didn't pick up on it then. But I thought they did a good job.
But
go
on, Jimmy.
The very first scene with the mom and the aunt. The mom is like the racist one, and the aunt is the nice one. Go play with that kid, play baseball. And then when we meet Uncle Mitch for the first time, and he's like this obnoxious guy, and I was sold, like, yeah, that dude is trouble. Like, that's an annoying, obnoxious uncle. I was totally sold that Uncle Mitch sucked. And then that flipped, and I was like, he is the good guy. He's the hero. So I thought they did that. They played those parts well. I knew.
Okay.
And wait, Dave, how did you not realize during the lineup when they see the people and they say,
well, I thought,
really?
No. I thought, so I thought that they just weren't turning them in because they were into the mob for a shit ton of money. And they knew we turn in these mobsters, they're just going to, like, the problem's only going to get 1,000 times worse. And I didn't realize that they had hired them to kill the wife. It was just, that's what was happening because they hadn't paid back the mob yet. And the mob knew, well, you have insurance, we're going to kill her, you're going to pay us back with this money.
I knew the way they didn't let the boy in there, and then they touched afterwards. So I was like, okay, they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think it was more just I
pretty
had
shady
the thoughts,
shit.
but it didn't. I didn't think that was actually what had happened until Oscar Isaac called it out. But you mentioned the uncle. He was actually also supposed to be in it a lot more in the original script and everything.
Yeah, I read that.
I think he was in it just enough. I think that was a good call.
I don't know.
I think having him limited to just being like the faint hope in the distance was right, I think.
Yeah. All right. I disagree, but fair. What else? What else did you guys like about the movie?
I mean, you could be wrong. It's fine.
The mob, the killer, the big fat one. In real life, that actor, how long did he live life before he looked in the mirror and said, "Hey, if I learn to act, I can be a gross mob guy"?
Well, you've seen True Detective, right?
Yeah, he's the killer, or he's
Yeah, he'll never not be that guy.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He is so gross. What didn't work is the bus. Like when the bus killed him, I was like,
yeah, that was out of fucking nowhere.
Especially though they showed him looking forward, like maybe 5 seconds before the bus hit him. You would have seen the fucking bus coming.
And
it was a fire truck.
Yeah, and they tried
whatever it was.
They tried to show
with sirens.
They tried to show the fire truck earlier drive past Matt Damon as foreshadowing, or so it would click in our mind. And it was like, well, both those times were pretty stupid and random.
So there's just a rogue firefighter just whipping around the suburban roads, just boom,
which is nowhere near where
bugs.
the riot was going on.
Yeah, he's just he's playing his own version of GTA, just whipping around.
I want to see that movie, a rogue fire truck just whipping around this suburban neighborhood.
So that was bad. That was probably the worst moment for me, because that maybe I was sitting there and my hands went up. I was like, "Oh, this is stupid."
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I audibly mumbled "You got to be fucking kidding me."
Yeah, you weren't alone in that one. I want to bring up another point. What do you guys think of Aruba now? Is that ruined?
Aruba? Yeah, it was funny. Well, Aruba's been ruined ever since Natalie Holloway. Can't go to Aruba. You don't know who Natalie Holloway is?
I don't.
No.
Come on, you guys don't
I
know?
recognize the name. I'm sure once you tell me, I'll be like, of course I know who that is. But
Natalie Holloway. Well, now you guys are making me question if it's not. Yeah, Natalie Holloway and Vandersloot. Those names don't ring a bell. She was a American girl that went on vacation in 2005 in Aruba.
Oh, the shark thing?
No, she got.
They said she was eaten by sharks?
She got like raped and kidnapped and murdered by.
That's not at all what I was thinking in my head. So
no sharks, you sure?
Sharks, yeah. But I mean, like my life, like my sister would like spring break. My mom would like no Aruba. My mom loves true crime stories. No Aruba.
Okay, so it was ruined for you a long time ago. It was ruined for me because of a shitty plot of a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same.
Although I've heard it's beautiful. I work with one of the sister islands to them, and that place is gorgeous. So
is it actually beautiful, or is it like Jamaica?
No, it's actually beautiful.
That Sandals resort
I work
is beautiful.
with Curacao for my real life job, and they're kind of like the lesser known, more adventure-y Aruba. So I've seen tons of pictures there. People from our team go a couple times a year, and so I've seen a lot.
So
of
it's the hipster Aruba.
Yeah, it's hipster Aruba. That's exactly what it is.
Nice.
All right. Well, cool. That was talking vacation. All right. Let's bring it back. I want to talk about the first plot twist there with the insurance salesman. Mm-hmm. Did you guys see him being a scumbag in the end?
No.
Because when he said he was like, all right, I want in. I was like, ooh,
yeah.
Okay. And how much you want? And he was like, how much you want? All of it? What? Of course he's gonna buy the balls. Of course he's gonna get all of it.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was when I was hooked in for good.
I also did love though, right when he's like, do you know what happens if someone like me dies while investigating this? You'll be so screwed. Takes a sip of coffee, starts dying.
That's what I wrote in my notes, my little scribbly notes. Women fuck up everything.
All my notes say on that was Oscar Isaac killed it. All caps, underlined.
How do you guys write in the dark? I can't do it. It was like I'm fucking every which
way. I write right after the movie on the train ride home.
Oh, okay.
I write in the dark. But so as far as like comedy goes, I laughed when he tried to take the steak out of Oscar Isaac's dead head and the head kept coming up and then he had to step on the forehead to pull it out. Like, that was like as dark and brutal as it gets, but I was giggling.
That was amazing. Seeing the body like lift up and down, lift up, down. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty good. This movie though, like best thing it did is I was with my sister, like I've said, but we were like asking questions, like because she asks questions nonstop. She can't watch. She thinks everyone knows everything else, so she just asks questions. Like he puts the body.
I feel like I would hate seeing a movie with your sister. I hate that.
It's not the best. It's not the best. But sometimes it's good. Like he puts the body in there. He puts the bike in there. She's like, "Why is he taking the bike?" I'm like, "I don't know. Why is he?" And then he drives there.
Just shut up and listen.
He drives there, and I'm like, because I was like, "Is he hiding the body with a bike?" Blah blah. And it's stupid. I'm sure a lot of people figure it out right away. But for us, I was like, and then he gets there. We're like, "Oh, he's got to ride the bike home." So little things like that, where like it's not like groundbreaking. It wasn't blowing my mind, but it kept me asking tiny questions, and then I would get tiny answers. I was like, I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, and that like I was the same way. I was like, what the hell is a bike doing in the trunk? And then when he popped out there, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Same with the sandwich.
I only didn't.
It's extremely logical.
At first, I was like, what with the bike? But then I thought of the trailer where it shows him riding it, covered in blood, and I was like, oh, obviously he needs some way to ride this bike. Get home from the car.
By the way,
I'm glad I didn't remember the trailer. I only watched it like once, and I didn't put it to my brain, because that would have ruined.
After seeing the Rotten Tomato score, I didn't read the reviews. I just saw the score. I was like, am I thinking of the wrong movie? So I went back and watched the trailer, being like, this can't be the same movie I'm thinking of, and it was, unfortunately.
It's down to 26% right now, which is obnoxious.
Yeah.
What's the audience score?
Let me look that up. Also, how about him just casually walking around a neighborhood, blood-soaked shirt?
Well, good thing everyone was too busy harassing the black family.
Yeah.
Audience score 24%.
Oh.
People are
People are
So
stupid.
I think we're in the minor. I mean, I didn't like it as much as you guys, but I think us even saying
You were
it's-
crushing it earlier. You were saying, "Fuck this movie, it's terrible."
I didn't say fuck this movie. It's terrible. I said
Don't
it's a bad
you dare
movie.
try to come back from
And
that.
You guys have
Yeah.
talked me up to it's not a horrible movie. It's still not a good movie.
You're a sheep, Dave. You're a sheep.
Fuck you.
I still think it's a good movie. I think the critics are being assholes because like so easy. Even who said it on this? One of you guys said like, "Oh, it's a Coen Brothers movies," but they give all their bad movies to George Clooney to direct. So
I said that. Yeah.
yeah,
You
so
said-
everyone's going into this thinking like, it's a Coen Brothers movie, but it's not really a Coen Brothers movie. Everyone wanted to hate this. This movie was fine. It wasn't phenomenal.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be best movie, but it shouldn't be up for many awards at all. But it was a fun movie. It's better. How many movies have we seen? This might be on the top 2.
This is
The
8.
7th,
8.
8th one.
Yeah.
Whoa, you're gonna put it above Blade Runner. Wow, shocker.
Me?
It's because Jimmy has a horrible taste in slow-paced, amazing films.
That's not true. I like slow movies. This movie critically isn't above Blade Runner at all, but entertainment-wise, it is.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah,
Fair.
I would agree with
with that.
I'd put this above Battle of the Sexes.
yeah.
I'd put it right around like the same level for me.
Sure. We didn't
If
kill
either
Battle
of
of the
these-
Sexes.
Yeah, if either of these came on TV, I'd probably sit down and watch at least a little bit, but I'm not going out or recommending it to people saying, "Hey, you got to go watch this movie."
Yeah, I'd watch this. This is above Battle of the Sexes for me. This is higher. I'd watch this again on TV, and I'd tell like my rational, not like critically thinking, like people that just want to go enjoy a movie and not overthink it.
Mhm.
When even us, we're like kind of more looking at the plot and the storyline, and like because we're going to talk about
Yeah.
it. But if you just tell someone like, "Hey, you want to just go sit down and mindlessly enjoy a movie?" It's perfect. It's a good movie.
I think it's great. It's great for that one.
Yeah.
It's not too deep. It's not too deep. Not a thinker. It's exactly
Yeah.
what you want.
It's what I've actually started calling with other people. It's what I call movie pass movie, where if I had to actually pay full price to go see this, I would have been a little more upset, but because I can see a million movies a month now and not have to pay it,
Hashtag
it's
movie
great.
pass.
Yeah. So that's how I'll recommend it as a movie pass movie. So yeah, I just want to touch on it again. Oscar Isaac, favorite part of the whole movie. That's just the one good thing I wrote down about it was how much I loved him. I wish he was expanded, and I wish they had included those Josh Brolin scenes.
Yeah, when you told me that Josh Brolin was supposed to be in it, it hurt my heart a little bit because I love Josh Brolin. He makes everything just a little bit better, especially in a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I loved Hail Caesar. His work in Hail Caesar was like top notch in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
So I'll never forget him beating the shit out of George Clooney physically. Oh, it was one of my favorite scenes ever.
It was.
Yeah, that was great.
Maybe that's why he wasn't included in the movie. A little grudge by George Clooney.
Yeah, made him come in and actually do all the work and be like, "I'm not even putting you in.
Yeah, you hit
No
me too
film
hard,
in
you
the
asshole.
cameras, asshole."
It's just vindictive George Clooney.
How was the audience reactions in your theaters? Anything good?
Oh, one guy got tossed in the first scene.
What?
What?
A guy got thrown out of my theater because I think he was like shit faced, and when the whole black family not being welcome thing came up, oh, he laughed a little too hard, I think, and he was escorted out. It was, I actually was sitting behind him originally, and I got up and moved because I could tell he was gonna be when somebody's like throwing himself under the chairs and like playing around, like grabbing people's popcorn with two hands like a fucking raccoon. It's never going to be good, so I had to back up a few rows.
All right. Jimmy, you have...
Other than that, though, reaction, there was one person, first time this ever happened to me, ever. This older woman went up and talked to one of the attendants, the people who clean the theater afterwards, and she was like, "What do other people think of this movie? Because I'm not sold on it." I'm like, "Oh,
That's
interesting
interesting.
person to ask."
Yeah.
Interesting person to ask. The guy who's cleaning up your shit. Yeah. And he said he was so nice. He was like, "Well, we haven't really seen it much. It's the opening weekend, so I'll let you know."
Jimmy, what about you? Anything interesting besides your sister asking a million questions?
No, I mean, there was a black couple. They were pretty funny talking. It was kind of awkward. They were like, "Damn, Jesus Christ!" Little reactions like
Mm-hmm.
that. And then at one point, oh, fucking, this girl was funny. He's eating the sandwich and he's chewing it, and then he takes a sip of the milk, and then he's chewing again, like really loudly, and the girl behind me was like, "What's he chewing?" He just swallowed the milk. Like there should be nothing left, and he's just loudly chewing. Got me real good. But yeah, wasn't a lot of people. I went to this weird movie theater in San Francisco. We went up 12 escalators to the top floor. There's 12 different stories of theaters. It's huge. Bizarre.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool, but it was like, why can't we just, there's no one there, just put us on floor 1.
Yeah.
I'm a big escalator guy.
So I had two things that were interesting in my showing. The old couple that was sitting right in front of me, they, like, not even dealing with the movie, they just had, like, toilet seat cover type covers for their whole chairs. It was very weird. I took a picture, like, incognito during the previews, so I'll send it to you guys after this. I'll tweet it out from Six Pack. But it's just very weird. I was trying to, like, sneakily, I almost took the picture with the flash on, which would have been very awkward.
Yeah.
That would have been a rookie move.
Yeah. So that was just a very strange thing that was in my head for the first, like, 5-10 minutes. But then also, in my row, there was an older black lady that anytime something racist was going on, she was just like,
Yeah, I had to pay $20 for milk.
Yeah.
That's so fucking mean, by the way.
I honestly thought
Julianne
Moore's character would have, like, she was going to have a scene after that where she dropped off the groceries and she had paid with her own money.
No, she's a scumbag.
Yeah, no,
that was when you knew she was a total piece of shit.
She had a lot going on.
She was standing. Yeah, but I figured, like, I was thinking, all right, well, here's gonna be like a redeeming quality moment for this shitty character, because she just killed her sister.
Yeah,
we knew it at this point. But no, she was like, when she's like, is it really $20? She's like, yes, it's $20. I'm like, fuck you, Julianne Moore.
Well, I mean, I could kind of understand that because her boss was there saying, like, hey, it's $20. And at the start of the movie, she was the one who was telling the kid to go play with the black kid.
No, not her. Her sister. The dead sister was the one who started that.
No, the dead sister was the racist one.
The dead sister said not to. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they painted her as, like, the
nice
nice
that just
one.
makes even less sense. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, so that's why I thought she was just saying that because she was at work and her boss was there and she was going to go over after work with all the groceries.
Yeah, because her voice kind of cracked. She's like, yeah, it's $20.
Yeah, I mean, you knew she wasn't real happy about it, but she
also
still went
couldn't really
along
put
with
herself out there because she's in the middle of a murder scheme. But her dyeing her hair
That's
blonde
valid.
was pretty creepy.
Oh, without a doubt.
That was awesome. I like that.
I did like the grin on her face
go
as she was getting it dyed. That was the happiest.
When you're doing a dark comedy, I like you getting fucked up. I like it getting real weird. And I knew it when she threw the pearls on, looked at the picture. I was like, oh, this is gonna get real good. And the next scene is she's getting slapped on her ass with the ping pong paddle downstairs. That was gold. When he turned the light on, I was like, oh yes,
that was amazing. All right, I forgot
that poor
about
kid's
that
face.
scene. That was pretty damn good.
He was frozen, just turned the light off, went back upstairs. Lots of good shit like that. Oh, how about I want to bring up another. I like bringing up little tiny little bits. I remember we talked about Blade Runner. I noticed like the ceiling fans were weird.
Mm-hmm.
This one I loved. I loved the remote control on TV.
Oh.
It was a fucking flashlight.
Huge.
Yeah, back in the day, the very first remote controls, they had basically a flashlight, and there was 4 corners of the TV: channel up, channel down, volume up, volume down. That's all they had.
That's so cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
That's the first time I've ever seen it. That's the first time I've ever seen that in a movie.
Nice.
I was very happy to see it.
Yeah.
Fun facts, guys.
Nice. I was talking history.
I love history. All right.
All right. Anything else before we move on to?
I think we should go to reviews, right?
Let's rate this thing.
All right.
Yeah, let's argue
moving
about
on
that
to
one
our
for a little bit.
reviews, which, as if you've listened before, you know we do it on a 3-prong scale, which is our popcorn, which is entertainment. Did you enjoy the movie? Would you watch it again? Our critical score, which is looking at it in the eyes of a reviewer, and then we pair it with what we would drink if we were going to watch it again. We used to give our individual scores, but we switched it up. Now we are giving you the official 6-pack unified score from all of us. Sheehan, what do you got? Critical. Let's do critical first.
Critical. Well, I mean, going into it, I knew I loved Coen Brothers, so I'm a little bit biased. The story I thought needed some help. It could be a little more deep, a little deeper. The cinematography, I thought it was great. The music was fantastic. The little like thump bump 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 when all the shit was happening. Loved that. Got the juices going. Overall, the acting was great. I want to give it a 71%.
All right.
It was good. It was good. Not great. It was passable. It wasn't bad. It was good. Average. Completely average movie.
Okay. Jimmy, what about you?
I'm everything he said, I say, but I was gonna go 70. But sure.
Ooh,
71.
so different.
And like you said, there's
Well-
the storyline just didn't really flow. There was like some gaps, but until people shoved that in my face, I was like, that was good. I liked it. So I'm going high.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys that it's okay. I feel like I just got to take more points off, though, for the tonal whiplash that I felt between the... Oh, there goes the back of my chair.
Jesus Christ, dude.
The tonal whiplash between the racist story and the murder story.
You were rattled by your chair,
I
dude.
was. That really threw me off there. I'm going to...
You're rattled.
Yeah.
Okay.
67 is what I'm giving it. 67.
All right.
Anyone
That's
do
fair.
the math on what our official score is then?
69.
We're going to call it...
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
it's a nice score.
All right, cool.
All right,
Fine with me.
on to
We'll go
our
with that.
popcorn ratings. Jimmy, you start this one off. What do you got?
4.5. I was entertained. I was into it.
That's outrageous. I feel like I need to lowball it now just to balance yours out.
Well, I had no agenda with my score. It was just my score.
Fair.
Well, la-di-da. I think I like the movie. I think that's a little bit
What did
high
we give-
because I wasn't roped in at the start.
It's the second highest popcorn we've done besides Logan Lucky.
No, we did Happy Death
No.
Day was 4.5, I thought, or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Happy Death Day has been the most enjoyable movie we've seen.
I put them.
my
Those are
opinion.
even.
Besides
Those are
Logan
even for
Lucky.
me. So whatever I gave Happy Death Day, I'll give Suburbicon. Those are even for me.
Stronger was a 5 popcorner for me, so whatever.
Well, you were a little bit biased there.
Whatever, guys. I'm Bostonian. Yeah, you said 4.5? 4. Okay, 4 I can live with. I wasn't hooked. I was going to say 3.5 because I wasn't hooked until like 40 minutes into it, until the insurance guy came along, knock on the door. It was completely like fail for me. It was like in past fail situation, it was a fail up until that point. But it hooked me good. It hooked me hard, and I was glued until the very end. So I'm going to give it a 3. I'll give it a 4 now.
All right. I was going to lowball it, but after being called out, I'll stick to my guts. I'm going a 3. I think it's entertaining. Like I said, if it comes on TV, I'd watch at least a little bit. I don't know if I'd stick it through for the whole movie. And I'll tell my friends who do have Movie Pass that they should go see it because it costs nothing. It's a Movie Pass recommendation.
Hashtag movie pass.
So what's that? 3.5?
Yeah, 3.6, 3.5.
Yeah, I'll give it 3.5.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Popcorn's going to only be cut in half, so we can't do it. 6.
Yeah.
All right, so
Guys.
3.5.
Respect
right.
the
All
podcast,
right.
please.
On to our pairings. What do you guys got for drinking while you're watching this again?
You got to drink an old fashioned in one hand, and then you got to chase that
mine.
with an OE.
What's an OE?
Chase-
You know what?
Old
Chase
English?
with what? Oh.
That's not at all this type of movie, I feel like.
It's a white and black joke.
Oh.
And it landed just as well as the parallel storylines. All right.
It's
Sheehan,
a
what
joke
about you?
the two different movies. You guys blew it.
You probably could have sold it a little bit
You
better.
don't know
than
what
that.
old E is.
Yeah, you said
That's what
OE
it's called.
first of all.
Ah,
Whatever. All right, so this is the first. This is a first for me, and this is our 8th episode. I finished my drink before we even got to the pairings. I want to start drinking what I'm recommending if I
oh,
can.
that's a good idea.
And I'm drinking what I feel is the whitest, most crispy starch white press shirt drink you can find from the 60s. It's a gin and tonic.
Gross.
That's solid. I like gin and
Google
tonic
this movie.
too. So I
Yeah, but you know
Alright,
what?
sorry, go on.
Black people don't like gin and tonics, as far as I can tell. It's a very crispy white old
It's
man
a waspy drink.
It very much is.
I was gonna go old fashioned for this, but since you took that, I'll pull an audible, and I'm going with a Scotch on the rocks.
Okay.
That's yeah,
Classy.
it's
dignified,
classy.
for
It's
sure.
traditional. It's everything that neighborhood wanted to be before that family moved in.
My backup was going to be a nice tall glass of warm milk.
With a splash
Nice.
of with a splash of Old English.
And lie.
Yeah, and lye. No, there wasn't lye in the milk. It was just a shit ton of painkillers.
Whatever it was. All right, that is our official.
So milk and Advil. That's my go-to. Okay.
That's our official reviews on Suburbicon. Let's switch it up to our weekly recommendations. What have you guys watched? What are you recommending?
Let's just all say Stranger Things.
Jimmy, what do you got?
I was going to say that, but
Going
I
Stranger
have
Things.
I have a second one.
Stranger Things is pretty great.
I told you guys, like, as I started watching, like, not only like is the sci-fi and the storyline is good, but the directors, the Duffer Brothers, they could just cut out all the sci-fi stuff and they'd be able to make just like a killer, at least the tone, 80s movie. Stranger Things captured,
Yep.
and maybe it's like they capture what we perceive the 80s to have been, because I don't really remember. So I can't tell you that's exactly like it was. But that seems like what it was, and it seems awesome.
No, even the people I know who are older who watch it say no, it's very truthful to it from what they actually remember.
I believe it. It's awesome.
And what I love about it is the little details in the background. I'm a details guy. You know this. Like it's a lot of stuff from the back from my grandmother's house growing up. Like the stupid Kleenex box covers they have. Like the small things. I just they have put a lot of thought into those.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's once again I told you guys off air, but I've already binged and finished the entire season and it's burnt out, and I really like this season. I don't think it is as good as the first one, but I think it's as good as a sequel could be, because the first one came out, no one really had any hopes or expectations for it, and then everyone
Zero
loved it.
expectations.
So I felt like there was no way this was going to live up to what everyone wanted out of it, and it did as good a job as possible.
See, I think I'm like 6 or 7 episodes into it at this point, and one thing I noticed is that each character is getting a lot more depth than the last season. Last season, it was all about Mike being Mike and 11. It was all about that. Now we got Dustin having his own thing, harboring the fucking monster. We got what's the black kid's name? Lucas. I mean, you Jimmy, you're all up to speed with me,
Yeah,
right?
I'm on episode 8 or something like that.
All right, so yeah, Lucas, when he's got his own scene with the girl in the arcade, they're having their like more intimate scenes, so that they're really fleshing out each.
I
other's
like
characters.
that too.
And since they're doing that, you're realizing that Mike is such a bitch boy, and I fucking hate him.
I saw your tweet about that. I liked
really
it.
don't like
well,
Mike.
He's going through like depression
I just
over
can't
everything
stand him.
this season. I'm trying to watch what I say.
He's like 10 years old. What's he gonna be depressed about?
His girlfriend
Oh, shit.
disintegrated in front of him.
His bald girlfriend who can't fucking talk. Yeah, he knew her for about a week.
Whatever.
The
I'm watching
most she
what
should be
I'm-
depressed about is the fact he had to throw out 2 boxes of
love.
toys.
Oh.
That's what he should be depressed about.
I'm watching what I'm saying because you guys haven't watched it all. Are you at the point, at least, minor spoilers, with Dustin and Steve?
I don't think
Ooh,
so.
all right.
Who the fuck's Steve?
Steve?
Oh, Steve is the
Yeah.
boyfriend. Steve's
Yeah.
the boyfriend, right? Yeah. I just saw him just get into the car with Steve.
Oh my god! All right, the next episode is
I'm very excited.
Might be my favorite episode of the entire series. I won't spoil anything, but it's.
That's why I was like, I want to do this at 6:30 because I need to fucking watch like at least 3 episodes tonight.
Fair. All right.
So
and can we? All right, we might have a little mini episode of Six Pack coming out this week. I know we haven't really talked about it other than.
I'm up for it.
I am too. Like that's one of the reasons I binged it. Although I'd probably do that anyways, but
we might be able to pump one out. I don't know. Jimmy, are you available for that later?
Yeah,
on?
I should be. I want to do a crossover episode. It'll be the same exact thing, but I want to post it on one of mine. Because I just did like a review of Mindhunter on my Just Talking podcast, just like a deep dive into Mindhunter. So I want to do it for Six Pack, and then Just Talking crossover.
That works for me. So heads up, listeners, get
Just
ready
Talking
for
Six Pack.
a mini episode coming at you later this week. And I also have another recommendation for you guys. It's an audio one.
What's that?
Do you guys listen to the Joe Rogan podcast?
No.
I don't either, but he had Tom DeLonge on last week.
Oh.
And I'm only halfway through it, but a couple other people recommended it to me. It's such a fucking wild ride. He's talking about all this government, CIA, spaceship stuff he's going to be releasing in the next few years. He says he's partnering with all these. He made up general ranks that don't even exist, but he says he's partnering with all these generals, and they're going to release like a time ship. He's
person,
wild. Huh? It's the craziest thing I've ever listened to. And like Joe Rogan being like, "Why are they partnering with you if this is legit?" And he's just like, "I can't talk about it."
What if he's right? What if he's actually the truth? How amazing would that
I
be?
shot a text off earlier when I was listening to it. I was like, Tom DeLonge's a fucking wacko, but if even 5% of what he's saying in this comes true, it's like a game changer for the entire world. Like, he's figured out how to like manipulate and create time dilations, and they're going to be like having expos showing that, apparently. It's a fucking hoot to listen to.
All right, that sounds good.
Recommend you guys check that out.
All
right, and with that,
and I'm gonna recommend Mindhunter. You just touched upon that, Jimmy. Yeah, that might be one of my favorite Netflix series to come out.
Have you finished it?
If you're, I have not finished it. I took a pause so I can go on the
my official review on Mindhunter is, and I just did a whole little mini 20-minute podcast on my full thoughts, but my tagline is Mindhunter is good, not great, but it could have been great very easily.
I think you got to start getting more extreme with your opinions. You're never going to get clicks with all this. It's okay.
Hey man, I just did it, but you're not. You haven't entered the reasons why I think they fucked up. It's all in the last 3 episodes.
Because right now I am riding very, very high on that. It is. I love serial killer stories. I love like FBI shit, and I love throwback series. It is so good listening to these serial killers talk about their shit like in a very matter-of-fact way. It's like, yeah, I cut my mother's head off, and then I had sex with her.
And that's all true, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
I definitely need to watch this show
but it's
now.
so like.
Well, it's the perfect.
Yeah, no, it's insane
format too. Like I was talking, like I'm jealous of whoever thought of that formula. Well, it's based on real life, so whatever. But like a detective story where you have one overarching plot for the season, which is what good shows are, like Stranger Things, Breaking Bad. Not like shitty NCIS or like, detective shows that are episodic. But Mindhunter allows these little episodic one-off storylines within the storyline, but they all build. It's a perfect formula to keep you entertained and like keep things moving. It's good. Go watch it.
All right. Jimmy, do you have a secondary one, or are you hopping on that Mindhunters?
Me? I'm Stranger Things.
Well, all right. Well, I mean, we all kind of
Where
gushed
you been?
about that. I was seeing if you had a backup.
Nope.
Well,
All right. That's fine.
keep up, Dave.
Fuck
Keep
you.
up.
That wraps up this week's episode of Six Pack Cinema. All you listening at home, be sure to go out next week and check out Thor Ragnarok. We're going mainstream. We're seeing a Marvel movie. Luckily, according to the reviews so far, it looks like we're actually going to see a very good movie for once. But knock on wood.
Jimmy, you're in for a treat.
There is
You're in for a treat, man.
0 chance we're seeing a very good movie.
We're seeing a better movie.
Oh, it's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. You're gonna have
I mean,
a party in
it's-
your
I can't
eyeball. I
wait.
swear to
No,
God, man.
It's gonna be ridiculous because I don't even know who Thor. I don't know a single superhero besides Batman, Superman, like Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Did you not grow
Holy
up
shit,
in
dude,
America?
You're gonna
I
you're gonna be
don't-
so
I
lost.
don't-
It's gonna be awesome.
Comic
I wish
books
you wish there
and
was like a live
cartoons
stream on you.
were never ever part of my life.
This is what this
Wow.
is. This is
Okay.
going to be like a teaser for when we eventually see Star Wars, because you're going to be just as lost in that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that.
It's a whole new world for
Alright.
Jimmy. I love it.
Well, see you guys next week.
That's why you get into these things so you can experience new things.
All right,
All right.
see you guys next week.